Good morning, and it's still morning at NTV, and it's time for the sports here on Morning at NTV. And today I'm joined by Mr. Joseph Owino, who is going to be telling us more about the East African, Brookside East African Games, which are ongoing down in Kigali. Mr. Joseph, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Aisha.
Tell us more. We've been talking off-air about this, but when did the East African Brookside Games begin?
Brookside East African Ball Games began in the year 2003, after 10 years of Brookside's operations. Yes.
And tell us more, because what was the drive behind Brookside sponsoring this particular brand of games?
As a company, we saw that it is important to grow with the youth. So we came up with a CSR pillar. We have different CSR pillars, but in this case we are talking about sports. So it's all about nurturing sports talents within the youth, because we realize people have different talents and they need to be nurtured at different levels. Yes. And
you mentioned youth particularly. What is the age category between the participants of these particular games?
We basically sponsor these games on the secondary school bit of the learning system. Yeah, that is from Form 1 to Form 4, or if you would like to say from Senior 1 to Senior 6 within the Ugandan system. Yes.
And this is for all the East African countries, because we do have Burundi as well. It's also part of East Africa, but we know Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda as well.
Yeah, actually, we're talking about 7 countries. We're talking about Kenya, Uganda, of course. You have Tanganyika, and we have Zanzibar. So that comes as different. Then we have Rwanda, Burundi, and we have Southern Sudan. Yes.
Oh, so how do the countries or even the schools that get to participate in the games, how do they qualify for these particular games?
What happens is each and every country has their own sports calendar within the schools. So I'll give you an example of Kenya or Uganda, whereby the Term 1 games, they are Term 1 games. Now with the Term 1 games, the schools that perform best and the runners up in the Term 1 games in each and every country, they qualify now to the East African Games.
Okay, and what games do they get to play there? Because when you talk of games, it's quite a whole range of games. So can you break it down for us?
Yeah, we are talking about here, we are looking at basketball, we are looking at rugby, netball, table tennis, lawn tennis, volleyball, hockey, and even athletics. Yes. And
this particular edition, you've made me to understand it's the 13th edition of these games, which are the different carried ball games in Kigali. And this time it's down in Kigali.
Yeah, it's in Kigali.
In a place called Buye. Huye.
Yes.
As you mentioned it. But what is the future plans for these games, and where do you see it going? Because having secondary schools coming and participating in these games is all good for every year. But what do you see, what do you get out of it, and what do the students themselves get out of it and in the overall?
The future of the games, if I may start there, is we are looking at getting out of East Africa. We are looking at, the CECAFA Challenge Cup, Eastern Central Africa. So we're looking at moving it to the next level, whereby we'll be doing the Eastern Central Africa Games, ball games for the secondary schools.
And that's a huge challenge, because there's a couple of other companies that have been sponsoring games all throughout, but centered in different regions. So that would be a huge thing for them. But what do the students get out of it? What are the prizes, if any, for participating in the Brookside East African Games?
Of course, first we are nurturing talents. By sponsoring this, you get students who excel in sports. For a long time, people have been thinking sports is just something we do on the sides. But here we are nurturing talents. We've had very, very successful footballers. Previously, in the previous games, we were pushing forward the best performers to clubs like Thika United, which is also sponsored by Brookside, Dairy Kenya Limited. But now in the Rwanda games, we've gone a level higher. We bring in academics, such that the best performing students will get the best performing students basically in hockey and also in basketball. 2 girls and 2 boys are going to get full scholarship to Strathmore University.
Oh, that's a huge deal. Yeah, that's definitely a huge deal. And tell me more. I know you've not been in Rwanda yet, and you're only going there tomorrow. But what should they expect? How long is the duration of the games? Do they go over the weekend? What should they expect in all
Actually, the games have been going on for the whole week. The games are ending on Sunday. Official closure is on Sunday. Yeah. And that's where the best teams will come out. They'll get trophies, they'll get certificates, and then we'll get the best players, the best students who will now get the scholarships. But they have to score certain grades in the final exams in the secondary school. Yeah. So like in Kenya, they have to score A minus.
In their academics.
In their academics.
Yes.
Because you see, you want to bring up a holistic person, good in sports, good in education, good in academics. Yeah. But now in the Uganda system, senior 6 exam, this is Uganda, the certificate exams at senior 6. The people who perform better there, they perform better they perform well in the games, they're picked for the scholarship.
Okay, that's huge. So the two that are across, the 2 boys and 2 girls are across the different nations.
Yeah, across.
Does each one get, or it's for the best winning nation? Does it go down to nations after it has broken?
It is to the students. Yeah, it is to the students.
So the school represents the students and the nation as well.
Yeah. So like that, you encourage these boys, young boys and girls, that apart from excelling in sports, you can as well excel in your academics. Then we give you a full scholarship to Strathmore. Okay,
any last words you'd like to tell a student out there who's watching and saying, I want to participate in those games?
Opportunities are there for the young boys and girls, for our students in school. It is good for them to ensure that they identify the talents which they have in sports, and as a company, as a corporate entity, and based on our CSR pillars of education, sports, we are there to support those people who can excel, and we are there to help them nurture their talents.
Okay, and definitely the updates of those games will be on NTV Uganda and the NTV Sport as the results do come in. Would like to switch to the sports and the different events that will be taking place over this particular weekend. The Afro basketball is going on. The championship is done in Tunisia, and of course Uganda will be in action today again against Nigeria at 6 p.m. Uganda lost their opening game against Tunisia. 77-55 was the eventual score. Uganda finished off with the CAR, Central African Republic as well. That game will also be at 6 p.m. on Sunday, but a couple of mentions there as well. The fact that Uganda will take on Nigeria today in the Afro Basketball Championships and down in Tunisia. And staying with basketball, the Airtel National Basketball League will be on this weekend as well, where Magic Stormers will be coming up against the UCU Lady Cannons at 6 p.m. And then, of course, the Star Times Falcons take on UCU Cannons at 8 p.m. Those games will be at Lugogo. On Sunday, there are a couple of fixtures to look out for. 2 KIU Rangers take on the Amazon Rhinos, and Sharing Youth play Bushcoats in the round of action expected this particular weekend. Yes, Mr. Joseph, you're dying to say something.
Yes, I actually also wanted to emphasize that as a company, we don't only focus on sports. We have, as I told you, we have the pillars. We have academics, we have sports, we have health. It's also good to mention here that we also sponsor what we call Mathlete. Mathlete is where we try to demystify the fact that people think maths is complex. It's not. So in Kenya, and we are trying to see how we roll out this in Uganda.
Yes.
We have competitions for schools where maths exams are set, the students perform, then the students who excel, we also give them scholarships to do professional courses at Strathmore, and eventually the best of the top 5 boys and girls, they get fully paid university scholarships.
Okay.
Yeah, they get
and this is across all these African nations?
No, it has been active, mostly active in Kenya, and we are, now that we've set our foot strong in Uganda and we are spreading regional, we are going to roll out this so that we can nurture both sports and academics.
Yeah.
And also on the health sector, on the health side of it all, we encourage milk consumption in schools. We have different programs where we give milk to schools, then the parents pay through the school fee, normal school fee program.
Yeah.
Then the children can have milk either once, twice, or every day of their life in school. So this is all about encouraging healthy living.
Yeah.
Actually, in Kenya, we have some schools which have even banned the sale of juices in their canteens.
Yeah. That's definitely a huge program, and we are looking forward to it cutting across the different East African nations, particularly in Uganda. Lots of scholarships up for grabs as well. And speaking schools and participants, particularly the schools cricket week is on, and we are into the quarterfinals. And yesterday, some really mouth-watering games going on, with Mwiri winning against St. Leo by 110 runs. Kololo SS also made it into the semi-final after they beat up on KC Budo by 57 runs. Jinja were the lucky winners against Nyakasura because they eventually won after needing a super over by 2 wickets in that one. Nyakasura coached by Ivan Thawi and Roger Mokasa, so doing great things there as well, but unfortunately they were knocked out at the quarter-final stage. Chambogo also losing to Mukono Parents by 7 wickets in some of the fixtures from yesterday. It's semi-final day today and final day down at Lugogo and the Budo Oval. So if you do want to go down there and watch some of those games, we now know who will be into the semi-finals, because Kololo take on Jinja at 9 a.m. at Lugogo. Then of course at Budo, Mukono Parents will be up against Mwiri in the other of the semi-finals. The final is at 2 p.m. at Lugogo, so the winners of the two games will go on to play in the final at Lugogo Oval, and that's for the schools cricket week. And staying with cricket, the UCA Women's National 40 Over League returns this weekend, and some big game on the cards, because KICC will be up against Tornado B at 10:30 a.m. at Lugogo, and at Chambogo Oval, Premier will be taking on Wanderers, who have been scoring lots of runs recently. At the Ginger Ground Charity Trust Fund will be coming up against Jack at 10:30 a.m. So that's some of the action from the cricket. And onto the golf, the Uganda Open Golf Championship will be hosting the Junior Open this time around. There's been the amateur, we've gone through the professionals, and today, Friday, tee-off was 7 a.m. So you've missed most of the action, but you can go down there. This is for both boys and girls under 18 years of age with a bona fide handicap. So they will be participating down at the Chitante Golf Course. That format is to be played at stroke basis, and this will be over 18 holes. 95 entries have been confirmed, and the lowest handicap will be has been Joel Basaline, who has a 3 handicap 3 therein. So I ran through a lot of the other events expected over the weekend. On Saturday in the World Athletics Championships, Stephen Kiprotich is expected in action at the marathon. It's as early as 2:30 a.m. so you need to wake up early for that one. Then of course you need to look out for Usain Bolt and Justin Gatlin, who will be at it in the 100 meters. That will be on Sunday over the weekend. There's Formula One as well this weekend. They've been a 4-week break, but it will be returning down. The Belgian Grand Prix will be on this weekend as well. And the English Premiership, a couple of actions to look out for. Manchester United take on Newcastle. That's the early kickoff on Saturday, 2:45 p.m. And Crystal Palace take on Aston Villa. Leicester take on Spurs, and Norwich will be up against Stoke. And on Sunday, West Brom up against Chelsea at 3:30 p.m. and Watford will be up against Southampton at 6 p.m. The Bundesliga is also on. Hertha Berlin up against Werder Bremen. That game is today. And then, of course, the Spanish La Liga also kicks off this weekend with the opening fixture being Malaga up against Sevilla on Friday. And that pretty much wraps up our sports update here on Morning at NTV. I would like to thank everyone who tuned in right from 7 a.m. and wish you a good weekend. Farida Nakaziwe is coming up next with Mwasu Zemutia. She has Lilian Babazi as her guest, so you should stay tuned for that.